I have a question for every police officer. When you were hired, did you swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic? Well, of course you did. It was a condition of employment. My question to you is, did you tell people that when you took that oath, you had your fingers crossed behind your back? See, I don't like that question because it's meaningless, for that very reason. Personally speaking, I think it's lame and intellectually lazy, just like a lot of the other stuff that goes on in this freedom movement on YouTube. The lack of original thinking is slowly but surely killing this freedom movement. And a prime example is, when was the last time you heard somebody say something other than, "You can call me good citizen"? Think about that. Everybody's out there parroting. No one is thinking independently. And the scariest part, it's not even on the top of mind for them. They don't even think in terms of asking or saying something else. So the next time you're interacting with a police officer, maybe they're being a bit of a dick, or you know for a fact that they're violating your rights. Instead of asking the tried and true, did you swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution? Why don't you ask them this? As a nation, are we better off with or without our Constitution? You've just set the officer up. You essentially just set a trap, and they have no idea what's coming next. Because if they're being a dick, or you know for a fact they're violating your constitutional rights, the logical follow-up question is, then why don't you start acting like it? We only have one Constitution. That's all we're ever going to have, and you better be taking damn good care of it, officer. The rest of the video is going to be about officer legacies. By the time they reach retirement, they look back at their years of service. If you're one of those officers who went out every day trying to fuck people out of their rights, heaven help you. Because that's your legacy. You made the country a shittier place to live. I hope you have fun when it comes back and bites you in the ass. Because you ain't going to be a cop forever, Buck. You understand that? And that same Constitution that protects us from you when you were serving protects your family from asshole cops just like you, dumbass.
This man exposed the city council, their feelings got hurt, and they threatened to jail him.
Chief Blanchard, you piece of shit.
I'm not going to put up any defamation of character.
That's not defamation, that's a fact.
I don't care. You're either going to respect this place or you're going to be asked to walk out.
I'm going to be arrested. Fine. Okay.
But his lawyer was at the meeting and saved the day.
What I just witnessed was a violation of Mr. Followell's rights. Swear words do not provide probable cause for an arrest for disorderly conduct because the words, as a matter of law, are not fighting words. If I think you, Mr. Mayor, are a tyrant, if I think the city manager is a piece of shit, I can say that. You escort me out, I'll sue you as well, Mr. Mayor.
Do whatever you want.
You're going to go to jail for disrespect.
Oh, you're going to arrest me? Oh, you're going to arrest me? Okay, so under the threat of arrest, you just filed.
After the meeting, the police chief yelled at him to come back with a lawsuit, so he did.
Last time I was here, Chief Blanchard gave me some advice, and I'm finally going to obey. When he said, "Stop talking and just sue me." Okay, Chief, here we go. These are your lawsuits.
I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I'll just say this, that I have such a visceral, angry reaction whenever I see these examples where government workers, random government workers, actually feel they are entitled and empowered to tell me what I can and can't say. They get to be the arbiter of my free speech. They ain't my mommy, they ain't my daddy, I ain't their toddler. Don't tell me what the fuck I can say. We let random government workers tell us what we can say. Guess what? Now they can tell us what we can write, because that goes hand in hand. And there better be a list of words, specific words. Otherwise, any dumbass cop can say that's profanity, that's a cuss word, swear word, that's a naughty word. No, they don't get to do that either. I want to see the specific list of words. And it goes beyond words, and yes, I'm being facetious. It goes beyond prohibited words. What about terms and phrases? Huh? How about that? Do they get to control everything? Well, then you better write it the fuck down so we can sue your ass. And we have cops who are still detaining, arresting, even using force and violence because somebody flipped them off. Putting a middle finger in the air in the United States of America can get your ass handed to you by the police. Unbelievable. You know, how many times do we see prosecutors take the case and judges adjudicate guilty for what, disorderly conduct? So putting a middle finger in the air is on par with starting a bar fight? That's why I tell people, if you want to mess with them, flip them off the old-fashioned way, but if you get stopped and harassed, just tell them it was your ring finger, you moron. Hey, moron, it was my ring finger. That's right, tell them it was your ring finger. Or you can take the ticket and then say it in court. That would be good. Hey, officer, did you know it was my ring finger? I don't know specifically where the criminal justice system is falling apart in this country, but I can guess. And it's probably going to be in the field training program. Once they come out of the academies and they get kicked into those field training programs, if they make it that far, that's where everything goes out the window. You just forget all that shit you learned in the academy. If you want to survive on the streets, you'll be like me. You do what I tell you to do. And you know, when you talk to new recruits who go through that process, they know that they're being trained wrong, that it's complete contradiction to what they picked up at the academy. But then, over time, they realize, well, hell, we're getting away with it over and over and over. And with the right pressure, words, a little bit of a twist, you can get people to give up their rights, no problem. And we never get held to account. I would assume that most folks think that the field training officers, that cadre of training officers within an agency, that they're the cream of the crop in terms of officers and quality. No, they're not. They usually have 10 or 15 years on, they're burned out, they're grumpy, and they don't know all that much. And you have to program them, and if they go off script, they're lost. The images that we've been cycling through here, these are cops who have taken what the founders built, that beautiful Constitution, and everything that went into it, including fighting a war with the strongest military on the planet and prevailing. I mean, that had to be terrifying. But now that they're into the rights violations and this is their legacy and they don't even think about legacies, now they're starting to tear that whole thing apart. It isn't just one officer who's screwing people over. It's 1 times 900,000 potential rights violators. The Constitution and law enforcement are not at odds with one another. They're at war with each other. Plain and simple, it never stops. Whenever Armageddon rolls around, up until then, they're at war with one another. Plain and simple, cops are not your friends. Stop thinking they are. That's deluded thinking. That's what they want you to think. All we have between us and them is the Constitution. They're dedicated to screwing us out of our rights and stealing our freedom. The Constitution is geared just the opposite of that. They hate the Constitution. It's an impediment. I mean, look at the way they act. It's like it's not even there. Okay, time to put an end to this bad boy video. Here's the copper, the rights violator. Yeah, he's there to take care of the lawn, all right. You know, the lawn that was seeded and maintained by the founders. You can see that he's got grass killer. And then you got this guy. He comes home, and you see what they do? They turn their own homes into shit because they're setting their own families up to fail. I said they're not going to be in law enforcement forever. So now their own kids are going to have to deal with some asshole cop that is working off of their legacy. They just pass it from one generation of cop to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. It only goes one way, and it only gets worse. Uh-oh, but this next image, you better be ready. 3, 2, 1. Look at these two asshole serial rights violators. That idiot on the left from Mississippi, and of course everybody's favorite piece of shit cop, that Kay Fisher from Dothan, Alabama. You see what they do? They get away with their serial rights violating, and they train the next generation of cops to do the same thing. It just keeps perpetuating itself. The gene pool runs pretty thin, pretty much the shallow end of the pool there, the gene pool. You got to appreciate Mississippi and Alabama. Couple of asshole good old boys. You know, they're still fighting the Civil War down there. A couple of losers. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks.